When Vika suggested playing this game blindfolded, I couldn't have imagined how it would turn our lives upside down, like a sudden avalanche in the Ural Mountains, rushing down, gathering momentum and speed, sweeping away everything in its path. Now I'm sitting in the battered armchair of our old two-room apartment in Ekaterinburg, staring at the cracked gray ceiling, where a web of cracks resembles a map of my tangled thoughts, and I still can't believe what happened the night before last. Outside, engines roar on the Siberian highway.
Trucks rush past, leaving dirty tracks in the slush.
Headlights lighten the darkness, and my head is swirling with memories that changed absolutely everything. My family, my trust in each other, what I once considered a truly unbreakable intimacy.
It all seems so unreal, like a feverish dream after a sleepless night full of shadows and whispers.
But the smells, that persistent, tantalizing aroma, the touches still fresh on my skin, and the words echoing in my ears, haunt me.
I twist the empty tea mug in my hands, my fingers cold, and my heart still pounding as if after a storm.
How did this happen? And why the hell doesn't part of me feel sorry for her? It all started as the most ordinary evening in our daily routine, the one that drags on for years, like an endless Siberian snowfall, lulling us into a false sense of security. Vika and I had been together for 5 years, and our life had flowed smoothly, without any sudden turns. A cramped 6th-floor Khrushchev-era apartment in the very center of Ekaterinburg, with shabby floral wallpaper, sagging floors that groaned under every step, and a view from the window of gray
irises where a perpetual fog from the factory chimney sung in the winter.
We had little money, just enough for food, utilities, and the occasional trip to the park. But in this cramped space, we found our own comfort, learning to coexist without invading others. Space, like in an old Ural hut, where every corner counts. Mother, Svetlana Petrovna, moved in with us just 6 months ago after a difficult separation from my father, who, without batting an eye, left for his young colleague, leaving my mother in their old apartment on the outskirts with a pile of dusty memories.
Empty rooms, and the echo of loneliness.
She arrived with one suitcase, a couple of dresses, a stack of books, and that same perfume that always hovered around her like an aura.
We weren't rich.
The cramped space was palpable in every corner. The kitchen barely fit 3 people at the table, but we learned to maneuver it. I made myself a corner in the bedroom with my laptop, a stack of notebooks for notes, and an old radio. Vika occupied the kitchen windowsill. There were always her notebooks with ideas for Hexen-made toys, which she sometimes sold at fairs, and cups of half-drunk herbal tea, with a faint aroma of chamomile. Svetlana Petrovna usually settled into a shabby rocking chair by the balcony, leafing through tattered cooking magazines or simply gazing out the window at the gray high-rises and distant lamp factories. At such moments, her eyes would take on a wistful look, like those of someone reminiscing about her distant youth. At 52, she looked surprisingly
young.
Her figure was toned by daily walks in the park, her neat shoulder-length haircut with a light gray streak that added charm, and the natural flush on her cheeks made her look not like a mother-in-law, but like Vika's older friend, the kind you could chat with for hours about life.
Sometime si caught myself staring at her for too long.
A mature, attractive woman with a warm, slightly sad smile that illuminated the room, but I quickly dismissed these thoughts, like an annoying fly buzzing by the window in the summer heat. After all, she was my wife's mother, the pillar of the family, the person who was always there in difficult times, who helped with advice, cooked borscht according to my grandmother's recipe, and never complained about the cramped quarters. That evening, I finished my chores early, dealt with the accumulated small things around the house, fixed the squeaky bathroom door that had been annoying everyone for a week, checked my email for bills, and decided to give myself a break by turning on a podcast about old Ural legends. The ones about ghosts in mines and lost treasures, which always fascinated me as a child. The host's voice hummed low, creating a cozy background while Vika worked her magic in the kitchen, frying cutlets with potatoes. And that same homemade aroma with a crispy crust and spices filled the entire apartment, mingling with the distant rumble of a tram outside, trudging
along the rails, and the light draft from the slightly open window, bringing in frosty air.
The 3 of us had dinner, as usual, simply, heartily, with light chatter about all sorts of nonsense. About the weather, which had given us another fresh snowfall, covering the roofs with a white blanket, about the neighbors on the first floor who were always arguing over where to park. Their rusty Lada. About how yesterday at the store the line had been half an hour long due to a checkout error.
Nothing special.
No hint of drama. But there was our family warmth in it. The one that warms the soul in the Siberian cold, when it's minus 25 degrees outside, and inside there's laughter and a couple of plates. After dinner, we moved into the living room. Stretched out on the sagging sofa that had seen better days.